the video later on. Hello, first and foremost, thank you guys for being here. My name is Walter, and today we're going to be talking about social media awareness. So today we live in a society where technology has evolved to the point towards we are able to make contact with people within a matter of seconds. You send a message over Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, you name it. That person can reply within 30 seconds, they'll know you send them a message. Now, internet is a great tool and it helps us try to communicate with other human beings. However, this is a double-edged sword. Somebody can input your name in Google and within the same amount of time, they'll know anything you have done, anything that you do, and probably will have access to most of your social media. Now, the problem with this is as humans, we tend to follow patterns. These patterns usually mean that every Friday you go with your friends to a club, to a bar, you go to have dinner, and it's usually a trend that we tend to create. Now, this is not a problem, but when somebody's actually trying to harm you, and they know this trend, they know where you are, they'll know where you are before you actually make the action. Now, also as an adult, it might not be an issue, you're less susceptible, but when you think about our kids, that's when a problem becomes. Kids, they might not have the same judgment that we as adults do, and they also don't know how to activate the self-defense mechanism that's going to let you know there's something wrong going on in here, I need to get out. Now, let's talk about that. According to research by the NCSA, 88% of teens have experienced some sort of e-bullying, which technically means in the past when you used to be bullied at school. However, you can't escape from it. This is on social media, and once it's there, it's always going to be there. And 8% of kids tend to be in a physical confrontation due to this e-bullying. About 20% of kids have committed suicide just because they can't find a way out of this. Also, sexual assault cases related to social media have increased about 300% due to the past few years, just because it's so easy to know what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it. Now, as I said earlier, kids are more susceptible, and also they're easier to convince that I am a person. So a person could easily go create a fake Facebook profile, put a fake picture, and have contact with your children within a matter of seconds, and they look good, but they don't know who really is outside of that box. They don't really know who that person is and what that person's intentions are. That's how all this trend started. That's how kids get kidnapped daily basis, more and more and more. It's just because somebody knows where they are, how to reach them, and they're easy to convince. See, the problem is not the tool, it's the education and the knowledge that we have as a society for it nowadays. And the stigma is that we tend to let our kids do whatever they want because we don't want to interfere with their life, and their kids tend to start doing what they feel is best and not educated just because it seems like we don't care. Now, problem is that this bad decision that your kid is about to make, he probably won't let you know. About 58% of kids don't share their life basis with their parents because I'm embarrassed to let my parent know. I don't have that self-trust and confidence in my parent that he's going to be okay with it. When we used to grow up back in the days, and I'm not that old, we were more close to our parents, and we usually had our parents to guide us through life. Nowadays, well, it's not the case. This itself is a recipe for disaster, and we need to become a part of a group that's going to make the next generation better. The only way that we can actually stop this is by self-educating our kids and the kids of our kids, so this trend actually stops and make something about it, because we see stuff about drugs, we see stuff about things that have nothing to do. However, social media awareness is not a big topic out there, and I think it's a very, very, very dangerous thing even for us adults. 3 recommendations I have for how to prevent this. First, obviously self-educate. 2, if you have to think about it, well, maybe you shouldn't be posting it on your social media. 3, there's a way to make your social media account private. So instead of sharing it with the world, you share it with only the people that you're allowed to have access to. Every kid that has a social media also should have their parents checking what's on it, because you never know what's going on in there. And 4th, if you really have to think as a third person view of what's actually going on, that'll give you a better image. Like, maybe I shouldn't post this because if my employer sees this, I might get fired. You know, people have access to your live basis like that nowadays. So for that, I thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate your presence.
Good job.
That was